common mistake is pushing to get all three strings. That's a common mistake. So this is how we're going to learn how not to crunch chords. I like to think of the bow hairs on my bow. When they're on the string, I pretend that they're grilled cheese on the frying pan. And I have to wait for the cheese to melt a little bit. So when the hairs have a chance to melt, and then all you have to do is pull. That's one way. Another way is to think of hairs of your bow is like a fly stuck on fly paper. You know, sticky paper, and it's just stuck. The hairs of the bow and the weight of the bow is already sitting on my sticky paper. And then you see how I'm not using anything? Fly is stuck there. From there, I can get a clean articulation. That is how I'm going to get. See, I'm trying not to show that I'm pushing. There. Step one is to rest the hairs of your bow on one string. And I'm just going to imagine that I'm stuck on this fly paper, and I can see my attempts to wiggle the string. It's kind of going wiggle, 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 wiggle. And once you get that wiggle, there, you hear how clean that is? That's the beginning of great articulation. On one string only. If you're a beginner, this is great. You get a consonant, pa, right? It could be softer, like a D. That's more of a D. If I want a K, I might need a little bit help with my fingers. You hear a K now? K. How about a P? Okay, I'll get a D now. Let's see, I'll go for something softer. Okay, so that comes from allowing the hairs of your bow to rest first. Either rest, stick on their own, and then release them from the fly paper, or pry the cheese away, whatever you want to think of. Now, when you're done that one string, then you can try two strings, okay? Resting your bow, melting the hairs, or sticking yourself to fly paper, and then release. So I'm just going to find the stickiness. I can wiggle, 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 wiggle. That's enough. Step one is one string. Step two is two strings. Now step three is getting to the third string. Okay, so that's a chord with no crunch. And a clean articulation, if you so wish that clean articulation. So here's a clean beginning of Chaconne. I have sticky fly paper. Okay, the bow is resting. You see, I'm not pushing. And now I'm just going to rest the fingers. There, that's all it needs. So a common mistake is pushing to get all three strings. That's a common mistake. So all you need is to rest and pull. Step four is to make it a full 4-note chord. Okay, so you see from step one to step four, you can get from 6 string, 2 strings, 3 strings, 4 strings. So whether you're beginner or advanced, give this a try. See, nice clean ka, if you so want that. Softened, cushioned approach. So you hear the difference how I'm doing a more that kind of articulation on the beginning of the chord. That's my more scooping approach to the chord.